Hello everyone, today we will talk about Merlin Season 6, Episode 8, The White Goddess. As Merlin approached the stone table, the light grew. It became so bright that he had to lift his arm to shade his eyes. The light faded and he saw Gaia, the woman he had seen in the basin, standing before him by the stone table. Close up, the crystal towered above him. He could hear the humming all around him. The ground beneath his feet vibrated. The tone changed, and although the crystal shone white, there were dark shapes moving across it. The hum became unpleasant and set his teeth on edge. The white goddess put out her hand out and touched the crystal. The dark shapes faded and the hum became pleasant once more. Although she took the form of a woman, she seemed to be made of solid white smoke. A soft light radiated from her and he felt the gentle warmth of the summer sun. Merlin knelt before her. "Rise, Merlin, we have much to talk about." Her voice seemed to come from all around him. "I have caused you much grief and doubt. Arthur did not need to die from his wounds, but I need your help, and there was no other way I could get you here without suspicion. I will return Arthur's spirit to his body, and you may both return to Camelot, whether you agree to help me or not." "What is the price you ask for saving Arthur?" Merlin asked. "I only ask that you listen to what I have to say and do as you feel is right." "What do you want to tell me?" he asked. The goddess moved closer to Merlin, but he did not feel afraid. She hovered above the ground, the light shining all around her. "See the doorways, all around you." Merlin looked around. From where he was standing he could see 4 of the giant doorways. 2 were blocked from sight by the towering crystal. Each doorway shimmered like liquid silver and moved as though full of water. Each doorway holds a veil to another world. My sister and I strive for power over each world. The fight between good and evil is ancient, and it has always been that either the dark or the light prevails. As long as magic remains, the balance holds no matter who rules. Magic is part of the very foundation of each of these worlds, as necessary as water, air, earth and fire. The youngest of us takes no part in this fight except to cause mischief for her own amusement. She has been foolish and has removed magic from one of these worlds. She did not understand, or care for the consequences. She moved around the table and Merlin followed her. She pointed to one of the doorways and Merlin could see that this one was unlike the others. The stone looked worn and dirty, and although the veil shimmered, it was dark like ink. He looked up at the crystal facing the doorway and saw dark cracks radiating along it. Here the crystal already looked dead, and it did not shimmer or hum. Without magic, the world is dying and the crystal sickens. This will in turn affect all the other worlds. Eventually Avalon itself will be destroyed and all those that live here. Nina has the grace to realize her mistake but is not able to fix it. We cannot walk in a world without magic, so we cannot replace that which is lost. Kate is blinded by her hatred of mortals and would prefer to see worlds destroyed than to see men continue to thrive, she said as she moved away from the darkened doorway. "There are other worlds we can rule, but I believe there is so much goodness in the heart of men. I would not see your world destroyed if it is within my power to stop it. The loss of magic on that one world has upset the balance, and unless it is returned it will have far-reaching effects. Those effects are already being seen on your world, Merlin. Magic is dying and all the good that was founded with magic will die too." "Is that why Kilgore is dying?" Merlin asked. "Yes, he is a creature of magic, a creature of the earth itself, and without magic he will die." "Why didn't he tell me?" he asked. "Kilgore doesn't know all that is at stake. He didn't want you to risk your life to save his. It is also why Thusa cannot speak or use her power to cure herself of her injuries. Her injuries mean she is unable to produce eggs, so unless magic returns to the lands, the dragons will die out and will never return." "Thusa is a she-dragon?" Merlin asked. "All dragons are born male, as the male of the species is more likely to survive. There is only ever one female dragon at a time. Dragons live for thousands of years, but the males are only fertile once every 100 years of their lives. They seek out the female during this time and she lays an egg in which the young dragon can live for 1,000 years. The female can lay as many as 7 eggs during her long life, which she hides with care." She moved closer to him as she talked, but he still felt no fear. The mother dragon rarely lives long enough to see its own young hatch, but dragons care for their young as though each one is its own. Kilgore feels he failed Thusa, and this has in part caused him to lose his will to live. The birth of a dragon is a rare and magical event, and my sister was aware of Thusa's birth. She knew Thusa would soon become a female and that dragons could return to the land. She trapped Thusa and led Morgana to her, but I do not think even she knew that such a bond would develop between them. If Morgana is capable of love, then she may yet be cured of her hatred, and this will anger my sister. "What is it you want me to do?" he asked. "Magic needs to be returned to that world. Only you can do this, Merlin." "How?" he asked, glancing at the darkened doorway before looking up at Gaia again. The goddess moved towards the stone table, and Merlin noticed a small crystal lying on a cushion. This crystal needs to be replaced in the crystal cave of that world. If planted properly, it will multiply and magic will be restored. "How will I find the caves?" he asked. "I can plant a vision in your mind so you will see where you have to go. I must warn you, Merlin, the quest is a dangerous one and it may cost you your life. The earth and air have been poisoned, and without magic it can be deadly. Your own magic will keep you safe for a while, but you should not spend too long there. The longer you are there, the weaker you will become. I can only help you once you return to the sacred island. Step through the veil." Merlin looked around at the great doorways, and then up at the crystal. "You do not have to decide now," she said. "I have returned Arthur's spirit to his body, and you may now go to him. Think about what I have said, and if you will help us, Alba will bring you back when you have rested. I was born of magic. If I do nothing and magic dies, will I not die anyway?" Merlin asked. "I choose well when I gave you your gifts, but even I could not foresee how wise you would become. Will you do as I asked then?" "I will," Merlin said, looking up at her. "I must warn you that if you succeed and you and Arthur return to Camelot, you will anger my sister. She will do all in her power to destroy all that you hold dear. Are you still prepared to do as I asked? If I do nothing, everything will die anyway, so I'll do what I can to help. I'd like to see Arthur before I go, though, to say goodbye in case I do not return. The sun is rising in that world. It is better for you to rest now and begin your quest when the sun sets. You will be safer at night, the fumes are not so great, and you will find your way easier. I will send for you when it is time. I will return when you call for me," Merlin said. "Thank you, Merlin, I will return the favor, and grant you something you have long wished for," she replied. "You have saved Arthur, and he may now accept me for what I am. That's all I could ask for," he said. "We shall see. Go now, Alba is waiting for you. She will take you to Arthur and bring you back here when you are rested." He bowed before the goddess and then